I just recorded the narration for part 1 of this, and it hasn't fully processed, so I'm hoping it actually saved any of that. Welcome to part 2 of my Lollapalooza vlog. I arrived at a little before 6 a.m., like 5:45 in the morning. I left my hotel at like 5 a.m. We were a little far out because we got it too last minute. The second I got there, there was a stay right next to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, are you here alone? And she said, yeah, are you? And I said, yeah. And we hung out the entire rest of the day. There's something very special and unique about, I think, concerts in general, but for me personally, K-pop concerts, where I can go to an event and I will instantly make friends, and we like act like we have known each other for years. Later that day, we were like hanging out with other people in the crowd, like in the heat, waiting for Stray Kids, and the people around us were like, oh, we thought you came here together and you've like known each other for years. No, we met that morning at 6 a.m. I had little freebies to pass out. They were little photo cards. It's a little covered, but that blue thing in the back, and it had like a QR code on the back that took you to like an augmented reality like photo op. I don't know how many people did it, but I was very proud of it. And I made 100, which I felt like was a lot, but I ran out so freaking fast. I think we got in, I'm sorry I don't have better timestamps, dear God. It's been 3 months. We finally went through the gates at like 11 or noon? I forget what time Lollapalooza officially opens, but they had us all lined up and it was really formal because in previous years when they had K-pop headliners, they did not anticipate K-pop stands being as feral as sometimes we are. They are. I would like to think I'm not one of the feral ones, so I'm gonna say they are. We had like a unofficial head stay in charge who was walking around just explaining like, hey, we all want to get in, try to stay in these lines. My friend that I was with had a watercolor pen and paper, so we spent a lot of the time making like little posters. I also brought a trans flag that I Photoshop pasted Stray Kids onto. Also way too big. I wish I got a smaller one. I'm just sharing with you things that I learned as well as what happened. So many stays had flags. It was honestly so fun. There were multiple points where stays would just hold up all of their flags and we would all just cheer. We finally got in. For me personally, it was absolutely crazy. I couldn't find my friend at first. Eventually I did, but it took me like a minute or two. So some people were in front of us. They were kind enough to let me through. The festival was actually so freaking nice, and I applaud them so much for how much they helped us because they knew we were going to be camped out there all day long. They didn't want anyone to pass out. They didn't want anyone to get hurt. So they were passing out like little boxed waters throughout the crowd for a lot of the day. At one point, especially like in the afternoon when it was like getting really hot, they started passing out bandanas that they had like dipped in ice water. They started passing out literal ice cubes. So that was incredibly nice of them and definitely made getting through the day more bearable. But yeah, I was just in shock that I was that close to the stage.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
One and two tight. People are gonna start passing out. We have.
They're gonna be right here.
I have the same.
I'm right in front of the stage.
We can all not.
I'm right in front of the stage.
This duo called Sundial performed. Although I'm sad that I didn't get to see Vicha, Let My Girls Out of the Basement. I absolutely adore Sundial, and I don't think I ever would have heard their music if they hadn't been on this stage at that time. They're adorable. I really just can't say enough kind things. You should all go listen to their music right now. It's really catchy, it's really good, it's really unique. I'm a Sundial stan now. Sexyy Red performed. I was not super familiar with her. There were a couple girls near me who I guess had fought their way through the entire crowd to try to get like barricade just for Sexyy Red's set, and I was only a couple people from the front. I forgot to mention that. The people right at barricade would not let them through, which I kind of understand. They've been there for a very long time. I would probably get nervous and not want to let it go either. But I was just thoroughly impressed that those girls made it that far into the crowd. But I'm also very proud of Stays for being nice enough to let them through.
What's up? Well, girl, don't even speak. Your outfit hella weak. Let's go. But better than your bitch. I can tell her coochie stink.
Okay, I kept calling her Laufey, which I know is not the way you pronounce it, so I'm gonna look it up really quick.
It's pronounced Lollapalooza.
You know, it's a common Icelandic female name, actually.
Laufey performed. God, she was just breathtaking. She's so pretty. The entire time I felt like I was just watching a Disney princess, like, sing. I felt like I was just like watching Cinderella sing, like, so freaking beautifully. Like, I am so speechless. She was just so perfect and beautiful and talented and wonderful, and she was so like sweet, like talking about how she had dreamed of performing with an orchestra like that, and it sounded so beautiful. Like, I really cannot exaggerate. If you haven't seen YouTube videos of it, I highly recommend pulling those up. But yeah, if you ever have the chance to see her live, highly recommend.
All right, down.
As far as I'm concerned, this bitch is numb to love.
We've made it to Stray Kids. I'm a very big fan of Stray Kids. Anyone who knows me knows this. Gosh, I'd been looking forward to this for months. When Stray Kids was announced as a headliner, I screamed so loud my roommate thought I was hurt. I like gave her nearly a small heart attack. I am so sorry, Josie. But Lollapalooza was such a big deal because it was the first time I would be seeing all 8 of them up close, and like, I had succeeded in getting pretty close to the stage. Like, I was only a couple people away from barricade. When they came out, I'm the type of person, I don't know about you, when a concert starts, a lot of people like scream and go crazy during the first song. If it's like one of my favorite artists, I just go completely still. Like, I'll usually just be like standing there in shock, like not moving, not speaking, just like watching. I recorded Super Bowl because I knew I had to scream with Hanji sung, and I did, and I collected yet another core memory. Thunderous is when I truly started losing my shit, because that was the first song where they walked out to the end of the extension, aka where I was kind of like front and center. My favorite video of the whole night, where I just kind of zoomed in on each of them. God, I watch that video all the time. It's just so amazing. There is one moment where, in the rush of the moment, I thought I had zoomed out enough to capture all 8 of them dancing, when in fact I had cut off Ian from the video. Ian, I love you so dearly, but don't worry, if you feel like it was rude of me to accidentally cut Ian of the video, he almost immediately got revenge. If you've seen any videos of Stray Kids at like festivals and performances, like you'll know that they've been like throwing water out at the crowd, like just opening water bottles and going crazy. Ian did this, and he got water directly in my eye, which sounds like a bad thing to like normal people, but one, it was hilarious because again, I had cropped him out of the video and this was like instant revenge, instant karma. It also like reminded me that like this is real and they're standing there, like this isn't a big screen, like they're real people and they're on that stage, if you know what I mean. I accidentally captured a really, really cute moment of Chris and Changbin because I was like, oh, they're standing next to each other. Maybe I should record because like those are my boys. I got a Han specific fan cam because I promised my best friend that I would get Han content. She is a Han alt. I delivered. The fireworks were freaking gorgeous. Or even more than the fireworks. It not only added to the experience, but watching the boys, watching Stray Kids look at the fireworks and just look so like happy and proud, like that just makes me really happy. If you couldn't gather already that they mean a lot to me, after the set ended, I had burst into tears right after immediately after Sriracha left the stage at Global Citizen, because I was like, oh my god, they're real. Like, seeing Chris up that close was just like insane and very emotional for me. At Lollapalooza, I didn't instantly cry. At first, I was just kind of in shock and like couldn't believe all of that happened. And then I was standing there thinking, and it just hit me that like, we're gonna get emotional for a second. It hit me that like, these are the people that have saved my life, and they continue to save my life over and over, and I'm so grateful for them. I just immediately started sobbing once all of that like hit me. So it was just a really emotional experience, and god, I fucking love Stray Kids, man. I'm not gonna cry right now. That's stupid. I'm gonna cry later after I'm done recording this. That was the best day of my entire life. God, I wish I could go back to it and relive it again. I watch my videos anytime I'm feeling sad, which is why I like to get a couple good videos. I'm never one of those people that records the entire concert, awaiting the American tour dates. I will be there hoping for Barricade, but if I'm just in the room, I'll be happy. As long as I get to see them, I'll be so happy. And I didn't mention enough, but the people that I met that day were so freaking wonderful and lovely. Just gotta make more memories, and I'll have more best days ever.